tailgate talk show. Houston's hot mess of a podcast. A funny but thoughtful look at the LGBTQIA plus community.
Hi, everyone. I'm Joel Tatum, and I've arrived.
I am Julio Briseño, and I like cappuccinos.
You do. Welcome to Houston's hot mess of a podcast.
Hello.
What's going on, Julio?
Not much.
You know, we didn't do it. I know some of y'all have been asking, where was last week's episode? But we had some issues.
We did. Mm-hmm. I had some family emergency issues. Literally the day before the next podcast, last podcast.
Mm-hmm. And I had some personal issues that I needed to deal with, and plus, I just needed a little bit of a break.
Your butt plug got stuck again?
My butt plug.
Aww,
well, you know what?
Sorry.
It was the fact that I couldn't.
Tell us.
It got stuck, and I could not turn the.
She was in there. She was far up.
I was too far up on the vibration.
Your attitude that whole week. Mm-hmm. You had a butt plug up your ass.
I had a butt plug up my ass that I couldn't get out of my ass. You know what? You know.
That's why you tie a string to it. So you can just go floop.
Mm-hmm. I worry about the fact that our show's on YouTube as well.
Okay.
And I worry sometimes about the language we use because
fuck it.
Because, YouTube's all about,
fuckity fuck.
We can't get you advertisers.
Oh.
If you can.
F-U-C-K. We're changing. You said advertiser. It changed my mood real quick.
So we might actually have to watch our language a little bit.
We can do that.
When it comes to YouTube.
Okay. Can I get it out of my system real quick? Fuck, shit, ass. Booty hole.
Okay. Bleep, and bleep with a bleep.
Bloop, blah, blah.
You gonna have, oh my God, you are really going to be sitting down doing some major editing. Because when I put out the show, I leave all the curse words in for the podcast. Because we are still a podcast,
I like
y'all.
the curse words. It's just more natural.
Yeah, it's just, cursing is natural. I don't understand why State Farm Insurance would be upset about me cursing.
Not State Farm.
Because, what's his name from State Farm? He is
Jake.
Jake can get it. Jake can get it.
Jake, if you're listening,
you can get this.
Follow me.
Yes.
DM me.
I know that you'll be more into Julio than me, but if you need a daddy, you can get into this.
And I don't blame you.
You can get some of this.
This will always be available.
You know what? He actually had a picture of him on Instagram. Okay. And
wait, who are we talking about?
We're talking about Jake from State Farm.
Jake from State Farm. What does he look like?
He's the black guy with the muscles and super just delicious. Have you not seen the State Farm commercials?
I don't watch TV or commercials like that. I really don't.
What are you watching?
What were you on last time? Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes, he is super hot. Well, when I watch Hulu, because he pops up on State Farm, pops up on Hulu a lot. That and Progressive. Oh my God.
Yeah.
But yes, Jake from State Farm. He can get this.
Jake from. Oh, there it is. And he's a little cutie.
Yeah, he's a cutie.
Young.
He's cute.
We'll post his picture up so you guys can see.
Yeah, exactly. He is a cutie. And is that the one where he doesn't have the shirt on?
No, he's sitting at a desk with a headset.
Well, there was
that one first. There's one with the shirt
There's one with his shirt off, and I think he's wearing sweats.
Oh, I did. I see it. I'm going to save these pictures.
Please save those pictures, because Jake from State Farm, you can get some of this. Now, it depends.
Letters.
If you want a firm disciplinarian, a daddy figure, if you have daddy issues, I'm the man for you. If you want something a little younger, I don't know how much firmer. I mean, because this bitch gets around.
That part.
This bitch gets around, and y'all might be competing in the front half.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
And then you have to go for Julio.
Hi. I'm saving. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. I'm saving the pictures from him.
Look at him. He's on it. He is saving.
Cute. He's
already following. He's gonna slide into his DMs.
I'm gonna be that girl. I'm gonna get chosen, and I'm gonna get saved by Jake from State Farm. Is he gay? Do we know that? Is he gay?
I don't think he is.
Should we find out?
Are you really going to slide into his DMs and find out?
No, I'm going to type in like gay and see what comes up. Like as far as like the Google search.
Well, I mean, you can also be bi, pansexual, whatever. Just be in the men a little bit.
Okay. And actually, I'm not the only one asking on Google. Everybody wants to know if he's gay.
Exactly. Hetero flexible.
Okay, girl.
Although I don't hetero flexible.
Oh my God, are you ready for this plot twist?
What? Get out of here. What?
I don't know if it's the same guy, but according to this website, Jake from State Farm found dead in apartment bedroom.
It can't be the same guy.
It was a horrible turn for.
Wait a minute. No, that can't be right.
I hope
y'all. That cannot be right. Girl, let me see. Girl, let me see.
Oh my God, I hope it's not. I think it's a different Jake. Let me see.
It better not be Jake from State Farm.
Girl.
Wait a minute. It would pop up.
No, I think it was the old Jake from State Farm.
Oh,
he was killed by his. Okay, woo, girl. I was like, we went to.
Oh wait, the other. A lot of people don't know this, but the other Jake from State Farm was a white guy who was in the office. That's when they started the whole Jake from State Farm thing.
Yeah.
So are we talking about that guy? Because I thought he was kind of cute. He was a little pasty, but I thought he was kind of cute.
Okay. Little pasty.
That's fine. I mean, I can see you in the dark. That's fine.
And that's how she feels. Period.
You know, I mean, it's like, hey, where you at? Oh, there you are.
Oh my God. So Joel, tell me, how was your week? What did you do while I was gone? Did you miss me? Be honest.
No,
don't lie to me.
Not really.
Tell me what I want to hear.
No, not really.
I'm a girl.
No, not really. I had some me time, some personal time to think about some stuff.
You had no phone calls or texts from me. You actually got to relax.
Actually, I made a
lasagna.
No, I made it funny. I accidentally sent him a text in Facebook. I sent you a text that I meant for one of my friends.
Oops.
And it was Nas X in the outfit from the Met Gala. And I said, you know what? If I were 20 years younger, I would wear this. I would wear the fuck out of this.
Okay.
And at the time, you were dealing with your grandma stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, I just did this by accident. Okay. And like I said, at the time, I didn't know what was going on.
Right.
And it could have been really bad. And I didn't want the first thing for you to see is little Nas X on your phone. And Joel going, I could have worn this 20. I wish I could have worn this 20 years ago. Okay.
I kind of have a mixed review about Little Nas X, which I would love to delve into that.
Can we talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Now, how was your week though? What did you do? Well, you did some R&R, rest and relax.
I did some rest and relax. I didn't really do a lot, and I had to spend some time going over my finances are a wreck.
Yeah,
they're a complete wreck. It took me a little bit of time to get the rent paid off on time, and I've always been on time for the last. My landlord's like, you've been on time for the last 2 years. Look at you.
Okay.
Look at you. Whereas before I would pay it like 2 or 3 days late.
Yeah.
But I always paid the late fees. Don't get it twisted.
Don't get it twisted.
They made extra money off of me.
For a whole 2 years.
For a whole 2 years, they made extra money off of me because I would be like 2 or 3 days late. Yeah. But it was never.
It happens. Nobody's perfect.
Yeah, nobody's perfect. But this time it got to the fact that it was 10 days late. Girl. And I was freaking out.
That's a lot of late fees.
Yeah. That I was freaking out. So
I'm sure he understood. I hope he understood.
She understood.
Okay.
She understood. You know what? She did not. She didn't come by my house once.
Okay, good.
She didn't leave. And you know how they leave notes on the door and everything?
Something was up. She's like, if you've never been late, you've always been a good tenant. You don't give anything else. And all of a sudden, yeah, something was up.
She didn't call. I was worried about her more than anything else because I'm like, what's going on with her?
Oh, dang.
Because she usually sends me a text message
boo-boo.
Or what have you. And, I didn't want to.
Pulling up outside with my money.
And you know what? I don't want to stir the pot. I didn't call her either because I'm like, if you're not calling me, I'm not calling you.
But we both know we're thinking about each other.
But we know we're thinking about each other. But if you're not calling me, then I'm not calling you.
Girl.
So yeah, we had some issues. We've worked them out.
Oh, and if y'all hiring, y'all know in the Houston area, preferably in the Montrose neighborhood, something not too far away.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, because girls try to make a little extra coin here.
Either she gonna quit them or they're gonna quit her, and we prefer that she quit them and go on to green pastures. And
well, hopefully we'll get to the point, and this is the beautiful thing. Hopefully we'll get to the point where we'll have a conversation about something, and then we'll stop and go, well, this mattress firm is doing this and that and blah 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 blah.
Okay.
Sponsored by.
Oh my God.
Have you ever watched the YouTube videos where you're watching your favorite YouTube person, and then they start talking about whoever their sponsor is for like a minute and a half, where you have to like fast forward?
I do.
Okay,
I hate commercials. I know,
and I know
if
that
we ever make commercials, we have to get creative with them because I hate commercials. Like I skip them. I hate now that YouTube. Before YouTube didn't have that 5-second wait, to some videos. Before you can just straight skip and. Nah, no more. I hate that. Sometimes I've contemplated paying for YouTube just so I don't see the commercials.
Oh, I'm not. Girl, YouTube is expensive.
Yeah, it is. It ain't cheap.
It is not. $69 a month. I said no.
But it gets like live TVs and channels. Anyways, what else did you do?
But that's cable. I'm not.
That is basically cable.
That's basically cable.
Kids these days don't know what cable is. Like a cable package. They know a streaming service and how much you got to pay a month.
Yeah, they do.
Most kids don't know what is the struggle of not having cable for like. In my house we had it on and off depending on if my mama was making money or not.
But the thing with YouTube though is when you think, even if you're paying the $69 a month to escape commercials, you don't really escape commercials because I watch. For example, one of my favorite channels to watch is What Culture Gaming. I love watching it. I love to find out what the new games are and everything else. And British people are just hilarious.
Speaking of British people, I started a new British show on Netflix, which I definitely want to talk about. But what else did you do this weekend? So the rent was late. That was cute. And then did you go to work? Did you?
No, I went to work.
Social events, gatherings?
No, there was nothing. It was just me.
You were supposed to hang out with Wendy, but there was a hurricane that came through Houston last week.
Girl, just like every other date that I have, it came and it went. It didn't even stay for breakfast.
It was your dating life.
It didn't even stay for breakfast. It didn't want to snuggle. It just like, hey, I'm coming through.
But have you met you?
I met me. I mean, first of all, I live in Houston, Texas, and snuggling in the summer, no.
Oh, God, no. This morning, there was some really cool, fresh, breezy weather. Did you get to experience that?
No.
I woke up around 10 outside. It was a good 72 degrees.
What?
Cool weather. Sunny outside. I mean, I was just so happy to be outside. I was like, oh, my God, yes. I opened the windows for a good hour or two before they came back to the 90s and the 80s, and I was like, girl, bye.
Well, it's supposed to be in the 50s. Or I could turn off the air conditioner at night.
Yes, me too.
I could turn and raise those windows up.
Most of the wintertime, that's what I do too. I keep because I like the cold in my house. I have to somewhat turn the heat up just enough to where the dog is covered. But she also likes the cold, so I know she's gonna be chilling. I'll throw a blanket at her. She'll be like, all right.
And I love raising my windows. I love opening the windows.
I do too.
Not only because I like the cool breeze.
Part of the reason I purposely live on second and third floors. I don't like living on the first. I like being able to open my window and not worry about somebody jumping through it.
Exactly.
That part. Or going to work and leaving them open.
I don't like leaving them open, because sometimes I will get out of the shower. And I love my body.
She's an exhibitionist.
I love my body, and
she's giving the neighborhood a show.
With on the second or third floor, you can just open the curtains and do your thing. And
period.
Unless somebody's really looking, and I mean they have to really be looking,
binoculars and everything.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not worried about that. I mean, if you want to look at this old ass body, you can do it.
Period. But no. So to catch everybody up. So last week, around Tuesday, in the morning time, I get like a call from my mom. She's been kind of feeling me. Hey, by the way, your grandma's been sick. She's gonna go to the hospital. This and that, and she got admitted on Monday, and it was due to an infection. She's diabetic, and then the infection was really bad. And she's one of those old school people where like they don't tell you they're sick till they're dying or suffering and can't stand it anymore. So that was her case. She had an infection on her foot. She didn't tell nobody till literally. That foot said, no more, mama. And so we had to rush her to the hospital. We got her there. And because of that infection, it created problems elsewhere in her body. Her heart, Some of her kidneys, lungs. Her lungs were filled with fluid. So her first night, had she not gotten to the hospital in time, she almost passed away.
My goodness.
Had they not taken her just the nick of time. So Monday and Tuesday was her worst days. And so to a point where the doctors were telling our family, hey, we think you guys should be ready. We think you guys should start making plans. And she's in her 80s and diabetic, and has all of a sudden her body's just shutting down. 2 days later, they finally managed to like stabilize her just enough. And from that, they got her to the next 2 days. They got her to stabilize, breathe on oxygen, this and that, eat some food, and then they did a test. They ran a test on her heart, and they ended up putting a stent in her heart to open up one of the cardiovascular veins. If I'm using the right verbiage, doctor language. So then. It was ups and downs. Once they put the stent in her heart, and she had several stents throughout her body. As a matter of fact, it opened up blood flow. Her heart was doing its job. Her fluids were slowly coming out of her lungs. The rest of the organs that were starting to get affected and shut down came back up. So she started stabilizing. She started to come back to normal. So right before I came back to Houston on Sunday, I spoke to the nurses and the doctors. Like, is it sure that I can go? Like, this is not like you guys are just saying you're telling this because you think that's what we want to hear, or they're like, no, she's good to go, test wise, everything wise. She's actually making extremely good progress. So you're okay to leave and whatnot. And I was like, okay, fine. So that's when I came back on Sunday to Houston. So that's where I've been at all week. We couldn't do an episode. I called you the day before, like, hey, Joe, I won't be able to record tomorrow. But coming back, we both came enlightened because we kind of like taking a break in between. We found that out. So I think the format might change a little moving forward. Y'all will see it where like we'll do three episodes in a row. And we'll take 1 week off. That way we can come back refreshed and new, and we're not feeling like it's forced, or not that it is, but sometimes it is. Not that it is, or anything like that.
Well, for the longest time, I've been doing this for a little while now. And for the longest time, I freaked out if I didn't do a show a week. I freaked out, and I would. Yeah. And if my co-host at the time couldn't be here, I usually just filled the chair with somebody else and called it. But this time around, with all the stuff I was going through, I went, you know what? Julio's going to take a break. This might be a time for me to take a little bit of a break because I need to figure some stuff out.
It helps to take a break. I told Joel, we can even plan vacations around it. Like, I don't have to record on this week, so we can go somewhere or do something, shit like that.
Yeah, exactly. Don't get me wrong. I love this. Yeah. I love podcasting. Fun. This is so much fun to me. But it is a lot of work. And
I know once we started adding the video portion, we got even more caught up.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think now where we're at now, we have a little more experience under our belts. We kind of know how the flow of the show is going. We're starting to bring more guests on. So thank you guys for being patient with us. Thank you guys for riding along with our learning curve, if you will.
And we just had to learn how to function together as a team.
Because I hate this bitch.
We had to learn to function as a team.
Because you're not that girl.
Because in this relationship, I'm the top. And he just does whatever he does.
Make a bottom, bitch. Bye.
He's versatile, but he's a versatile bottom. Yeah.
I hate this bitch so much. How much does mic cost so I can break it over your head? Clank, clank, clank.
Well, at least unscrew the mic, and the bass is actually heavier. Okay. Yeah. So if you're gonna kill somebody, if you're gonna kill me,
no, I can afford the whole mic. How much is it, sweetie?
Okay, this was $19. You know what? You paid for half of this, so.
Well, the base was, how much was this?
Oh, that was part of a package, so I paid like $3,500 for everything.
Cool. Let me Venmo you half of that. And break this microphone over your head. Can you imagine? You know how viral we would go?
So, well, I have to be the top. I've seen your bikini pictures, so I know who's the bigger boy in this room.
Oh my goodness!
I know who the daddy in this room is. So
it's neither of us. Clearly, I'm glad that you thought you were that girl, but you're not that girl. No.
Let's get into some topics.
Agree.
Let's get into now. You brought it up. Let's talk about Lil Nas.
Let's do it. Okay.
He released his album,
yes.
Montero.
Yes.
which, by the way, new video for that.
Okay.
Which, like I said, I don't know how you feel about Montero.
Yeah.
I mean, or Lil Nas X in general.
Yeah.
I love this kid.
I have love and hate with him.
I love this kid.
I have love and hate.
I love the fact that he is throwing gay in the face.
Literally.
It's especially in the black rap community. He is throwing gay, and these rappers are losing their shit.
They are.
They are losing their shit.
The homophobes are coming out. And
the homophobes.
Now we know who the secretly gay ones were.
Yeah, exactly. The homophobes are coming out of the woodwork like roaches in the dark. I mean,
not the roaches.
Yes, and it has been the most amusing time.
Yes, it has.
And then you know what? I feel like this kid is having a good time right now.
Is. Can I contradict some of?
Yeah, go ahead.
Something. Can I be the opposite?
Yeah, you can be the opposite. Go ahead.
I have a love and hate with him. I love what he's doing for the LGBTQIA plus community. I love the imagery that he's putting out, because I've realized now that in 2021, with the content that he's putting out, we have moved forward. We have moved very much forward. Yes, some of the older conservative people, it pisses them off, but I also noticed that he speaks to his generation, and the way that his generation is receiving him lets me know that moving forward with his generation, we're going to be okay.
You're going to be okay.
We're going to be. We might still have a few bigots here and there. That's hey, you have to. You can't have everybody be the same. But the numbers are going to be smaller this time. That's the love part that I like about it. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for bringing LGBTQIA to the front of the media, social media.
Make it it's the conversation.
Yeah, he's starting a lot of conversations that weren't being had 2-3 years ago. Now, the part that annoys me about him is I observe and watch him as a person, even some of his interviews, and I feel like at times he's trying really hard to act gay. Does that come across to you in any way?
I think, especially because of his age, he's a young man. He's a very young man, and I think a lot of people don't remember this. He really was kind of forced out of the closet. He had not planned on coming out of the closet. Yeah. He said that in many interviews. He had not planned on coming out.
I think him coming out of the closet was an agenda. And I think he kind of confirmed it too.
But the fact of the matter is that he is now embracing it more and said, fuck it. If y'all going to force me out, then I'm going to just throw everything. Yeah. I'm going to throw everything into the pot, and I'm going to stir the pot. And he has stirred the pot.
He definitely has.
He has stirred the pot. And let me tell you something. I spend way too much time on TikTok.
You're welcome.
You know what? The funny thing is that I said I was going to stay away from TikTok.
Oh, we tried to do a TikTok live for this episode, but we kind of couldn't because you need 1,000.
You need 1,000. Can we get some more followers?
Can we get some fucking? Let me get the F words out.
Yeah. Can we get some followers on TikTok?
Please
come on through. Well, we have to do more videos. We haven't done them.
Yes, that's true.
You have to put more snippets up, and we have to do that kind of stuff.
And our snippets are slowly doing good. They're getting views and love, but we're not at 1,000. We're not at 1K yet, my man.
But you know, I have an individual TikTok account as well, okay. JoJo Houston. Nice. I'm sure. Do you have an individual one for yourself? Yeah. So I've been trying.
It's the same name as my Instagram name. So you can follow me on Instagram.
I've been actually practicing a little bit with a few videos here, and just to get used to
being on TikTok.
Yeah, being on camera and being on TikTok and all this other stuff.
Let me find out you're a superstar.
Oh no, not yet. So maybe 1 or 2 of my videos are actually doing okay, but
good.
For the most part, I've just been practicing, trying to.
As you should.
Trying to figure out my.
And I'm proud of you. And I like this journey that you're on. And I like where you're going and where you're moving to.
Yes. So
because where you were before yesterday to where you are now, it's 2 different girls.
Exactly.
I see a more confident you.
And that, like I said, that actually came from that week of taking that week off, because
we noticed. I think I noticed it too. Taking a break helped. The thing is, I noticed we caught up in the newness of season 3. Which there's nothing wrong with that. We were just both excited and we put a lot of energy into it. And I think by the time we took that forced break, it was like, whew, I needed this. Like I needed this, because I also started noticing. I'm like, damn, like it's becoming a chore now, and not in a bad way. It's just like every Wednesday. Like I know every Wednesday we have to do a show. That's when we record.
Yeah.
But that 1 week off, I was like, man, that was nice. That's why I told you, like 3 on, 1 off, 3 on. That's the recipe, the model for now.
Which is a lesson in whether you're doing something creatively, like what we're doing. Like I said, I've gone nonstop with the podcast for God knows how long.
Yeah.
But I sometimes forget to take a break.
Yeah.
And I will run out of ideas. I'll get frustrated. Exactly. I'll get whatever. And so when I'm doing a show, sometimes even before Julio came on, when I had Charlotte, when I had I'm sorry, I forgot his name.
Hey Charlotte, if you're watching and or listening.
Hey Charlotte. But when I had Randy on the show, you know, I was going to the point where they were like, "Girl, you need to slow down." I'm like, "Well, I'm trying to do all this stuff and you know, trying to make this dream happen." And you know, so you got to take a break. Even when you have a dream to do something, every now and then, step back, take a breath, breathe,
zen your way through this,
and then figure out if all the stuff that you're going through to get this dream happening is worth it. And to me, it was worth it. Yeah. It's always worth it. So I look forward to Wednesdays, and I look forward to today. I was like,
glad one of us does. Yeah,
Julio came back into town. I'm ready to get going. I woke up at 6 a.m. and did some housework. I got the mics ready.
She did.
I wanted to make sure when Julio came in, he had everything ready.
I was like,
this bitch forgot half of her equipment.
To be honest, I forgot my iPad and the ring light. We have a bigger ring light, and we brought just the regular one.
But you know, we're still ready to go.
Yeah,
we were still ready to go. We had everything we needed to do, and
low key, no bullshit. I kind of missed the living room a little bit, and slash studio.
Yeah, exactly. I low key kind of missed it too, because it was like, you know, like I said, part of that downward spiral that I was on was the fact that this house isn't the way I want it. It's not clean the way I want it. It's not this the way I want it. I've been living here for too long. Things are falling apart. Blah 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 blah. And I just gave up.
Yeah.
And I was like, Julio, can we please do it at your house, or can we do it?
Especially when we're doing the cooking shows.
Well, you can't do a cooking show at my house because the kitchen is like right there, right off of. As soon as you walk in the door,
it's
there's
adjacent
the kitchen
to the west wing.
So it's kind of like a galley style kitchen, and we would have to. The idea of getting lighting,
the way her mansion is set up.
Yeah.
When you walk into the foyer. You're in the foyer.
Yeah, you're in the foyer. So it was never going to be conducive for doing any kind of cookie shows in there. But, you know, Julio has more of an open floor concept.
Ew.
So, you know, you can, I mean, the living room is right there. The kitchen is right here.
And I hope our listeners and viewers enjoy the Brian episode. Brian Brumley.
The Brian Brumley episode was so much fun.
I want to have him back as a regular again. Not even cooking, just as a regular, because he's fucking hilarious.
He is hilarious.
Did you see his TikTok? He did an Instagram video this morning on Facebook. I'm going to show you. He was walking his dog in his neighborhood with like a t-shirt, skirt, cock dress, and he had heels on. He was just walking his dog. I'm gonna post it, Brian. I'm sorry. It was the funniest shit. That was hilarious.
Oh my god, you should post that.
We will. And then we had Joey Cantu and Chris Legacy Catering.
Yes,
definitely enjoyed with those guys. Love them.
And they're such, they're a happy couple.
Yes, they are. They have great energy about them.
They
really do.
They are an energetic couple.
Yes, they are.
And
Chris is hilarious. He has a sense of humor, and then he's funny. He's funny as hell.
And I can picture them in some kind of naughty ways.
Oh my lord!
And
that's all you, girl.
Girl, I would be exhausted.
Yeah, hopefully
I would be exhausted, and these bitches would still want to keep going.
They did. They were awesome. I love them. They're funny. They made us an amazing meal. I even ate Joey's meal. He looked like, girl, you want my food? I was like, yes.
I'm shocked that we didn't do another cooking episode because I'm hungry.
For real, honestly. And then I'll post a logo for each, like an Instagram for each one, for one for Brian Brumley, and I'm gonna post one for Joey and Chris Legacy.
Exactly.
That way you guys can follow them if you need their services. They are available. They'd be happy to take care of you guys. And they can cater to any needs. I think
exactly.
Brian's more of a private chef, and then Chris and Joey are more events.
Yeah, they're catering and events.
Correct. And they'll do anything and everything, whatever you. And they have an excellent menu. They definitely brought it to last time, bitch. That was some quality food we had last time.
You know what? I think what we need to do is ask them to do, because we talked about this when we were when we did the cooking episode. I think we need to do one where they make us a vegan meal.
That too,
because I would love to have.
Let's have them back for like a talking episode and then a cooking, because I don't want to make them feel like we're just using them, which we are. Thank you.
We'll bring the food. I mean, we brought the food the last time. We'll bring the food.
We'll buy the ingredients.
Yeah, exactly.
God, is that so much to ask for?
Just cook the damn shit.
Okay. That part.
Just cook the damn shit, and that's
so
fine.
What is this I saw in the news the other day? What's going on with Miss RuPaul?
That's something that I really want to get into.
I haven't read into it. I just saw kind of the headlines. Where it's
Okay.
Miss RuPaul.
First of all, she is now the most decorated person of color in Emmy history. She won 2 more Emmys.
Nice.
She has, I think, 11 Emmys.
Okay.
I mean, I don't understand how. I mean, if I was in the same category as host, and I saw RuPaul's name, I'd be like, "Girl, no, I'm not gonna win."
Okay,
I'm gonna go to a cocktail party.
You already know.
You already know. They gonna give her the trophy, and so she won again. She won again this year.
Come close to Mama Ru. No, mamas.
But.
Do you know the number of trophies that she's won? Or,
I think 11.
Or awards?
I think 11. Now, currently, she won 2 last night, and then I think she won 3. The Emmys are split.
I'm going to look it up real quick.
Yeah, look it up real quick. But I know that she won 2 for the night, for Emmy night, and then I think she won a couple more. Because the Emmys are broken up into 2 different Emmys. They do some for specialty stuff, and then they do the nighttime. And of course, they do daytime, nighttime, and then they do specialty.
Yes. So according to LATimes.com, VH1's RuPaul's Drag Race was named top competition program
of course.
The 2021 Emmys on Sunday, which means executive producer and host RuPaul Charles is now the most awarded black artist in Emmy history with 11 career wins. Wow.
11 career wins. Yep. And ironically, he was the only person of color who won anything this time around.
Ru has put her time in when it comes to like being one of the most famous drag queens in the world, if you think about it. And she started a long time ago before even nowadays. Everybody, you see a lot of the queens nowadays on a major platform, but she was the first one. She paved, she walked, so if these bitches could run. Period.
Yep. She was the first one to go mainstream. Now we've got some famous Lady Bunny. We have
Trixie Mattel's my favorite.
Yes,
I never saw her season, but I found out about her after the season, the shows, and she does those commentaries for Netflix. Cracks me the fuck up every time.
Oh, she does. Her and Katya do a show called
Oh my god, her and Katya.
Her and Katya. But Trixie Mattel, you know what? I did not like Trixie Mattel at first. I honestly didn't. I didn't think she was funny.
I thought she was hilarious.
But
jump
when she would do the RuPaul after shows, girl, she I don't know what happened. She just got all super funny. Between her and Bob the Drag Queen, I think they are 2 of the funniest drag queens.
Yes.
On the planet.
I've watched Bob a few times, but he doesn't make me laugh. I don't really click with his comedy. I like Monet Exchange when she had her show.
Monet Exchange is super hilarious too. When they're together, it's like Trixie and Katya. When Monet and Bob are together,
they're a dynamic duo.
They're and they read each other to filth.
I say should, bitch.
They read each other to filth. And Monet don't play.
No.
Monet does not play. She is hilarious.
I used to watch Monet before she even got on RuPaul's, so the way I found out about Monet Exchange is I used to work when I think it was my first year working at the Eagle, And her, before she was anybody, literally, her and her best friend came into Eagle, and they were visiting Houston. They were from out of town, and I was taking care of them at the bar. It was like a daytime shift, and I was just taking care of them. They were talking, and we were like chit chatting, and I remember we introduced ourselves. We added each other on social media, because she was like, "So when are you coming to New York to visit me?" And I was like, and this was like in January, so I was like, February 24th. And she's like, "Oh, what? Oh, you're coming?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll be there February 24th. It's my birthday week, and I'm going to be there for that time." And blah, blah, blah. Well, okay, well, let me know if you come through. And I met him as Kevin at first, Kevin Burton. I had him on Facebook for the longest before he officially changed all his social media to Money Exchange. And I remember that he was like, "Yeah, so me and my best friend work at these bars. Come see us. When you get there, just message us, and we'll definitely hang out with you. We'll party with you." When I got there, I didn't even hit them up. I just added them on Facebook and said, "Okay, yeah, for sure." They were my backup plan in case the trip and the people who I went with were pieces of shit. That could be like, "Hey, what are you doing, girl?" Because it was my first time. I was excited. I wanted to do touristy shit, and I figured as them being native New Yorkers, they didn't want to go do touristy
of course.
shit. That was a waste of their time. So to me, it was my first time. I want to see all the major attractions.
Yeah, of course.
That had to offer. So my friends and I went and did all that shit. We ended up having actually a lot of fun at the time, but I never got to see. But I did end up following Kevin Burton for the longest, Money Exchange, on Facebook, and I would see. So he would do a lot of creative stuff before Rue. He would post up videos of him. One time he did this one video where he walked to the Brooklyn Bridge, sat down, and started putting on his drag face. And it made it like a documentary type thing. So, and he had people taking pictures of him, and the whole time he just sat there with one mirror in his hand. He was putting his makeup on. And
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm eating ice, but go ahead.
She'll eat anything in her mouth.
Go ahead, girl.
Yeah. So I saw. So I was following Kevin / Money Exchange for the longest on social media. We would like each other's posts, and then of course, then she went to do. She went and did Rue, and got famous because of Rue. And ever since then, that part.
I know she's just blown up. There are a lot of drag queens that have just blown up.
Yeah, so I'm happy to see his growth, her growth at Money Exchange as the entertainer. To see her growth and where she's at now. I used to love watching him on YouTube just because he would put some quality content. That's what got my attention.
Yeah, exactly. They really are putting. And like I said, Trixie Mattel, my God, this bitch is hilarious,
funny,
hilarious. And let me tell you something right now. The reason why, I think part of the reason why I didn't like Trixie Mattel, because I always thought Trixie Mattel was just a tiny bit snobbish.
Oh, for real?
I always thought she was a tiny bit snobbish.
She has like a dry, sarcastic sense, kind of dry at times.
And when she was on the show, she didn't like to stir the pot, but when she stirred the pot, this girl didn't act like did not know what was going on. She was like a deer in headlights, and she started she stirred the pot one time when she left a note for one of the queens, and they went off on her.
What'd she say?
I think it was about,
like, you ain't shit. Fuck you, bitch.
I think it was some kind of wig issue. I don't remember, but it was one. I think it was
outside. How about it?
Oh, I think it was in the All Stars. I think it was in when she was in All Stars before she won.
Was some shady shit?
Yeah, it was some shady shit. Some shady shit had happened, and she didn't mean to be shady,
but she came off.
But she came off as shady, and she looked like a deer in headlights. And I had never seen anybody be confronted, and just didn't know what to do.
I want to look that up and see what.
Yeah, I think it was the Vixen. And the Vixen was already.
Let me see if it's on the there's a screenshot of the note. I'm gonna look it up on the internet real quick.
But yeah, that was the first time I'd ever seen her in a confrontational situation, and I thought this bitch was about to get beat up. Yes, I thought she
get dragged.
I thought
on
she
the
was
drag show.
She got a little bit dragged, and she apologized later.
Shangela and Trixie.
It was Shangela. Yes, it was Shangela. I could not the Vixen. No, it was Shangela.
Oh my God, I found the picture and I'm going to save it. I'm going to show it to you just so you can confirm if it's the one.
Okay, well, for the people who are listening to the podcast, y'all just have to look. I think you can look that up on YouTube, because I think there is a video of that on YouTube. But for the rest of you, yeah, that Shangela let her have it. I think it was over a wig. I cannot remember what it was over, but I think it was over a wig or something. And Shangela let her have it, and she just looked like, poor thing. And then I felt bad for her, because I'm like, girl, I don't like to feel bad for. I don't like to feel bad for people either. If you're gonna stir the pot, that spoon better be big.
Go hard or go home.
Go hard or go home. Don't
Don't be that girl.
But in the first season of when she was doing the RuPaul after show,
yeah.
I'm trying to. Why can I not remember the name of the RuPaul after?
You got me, girl.
Girl, I watch it all the time. Girl.
We are like Googling our asses off over here.
I know, girl. Because I watch it all. I was watching it, and they had some queens on there that weren't. I was like, ugh, this is why I don't watch this show.
Was this the note? Was this one the note?
Yes, that was the note. I think that was the note. Mm-hmm.
Something about it says cocktails. Also, don't forget to wipe. Love, Thor. Mm-hmm. Shady bitch. Mm-hmm. She scratched out Shangela's name. She wrote love Shangela, scratched it out, and wrote Thor or Nor.
Yeah, exactly.
The shady bitch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking it up right now.
I'm gonna post that on so y'all can see it. Mm-hmm. And then, okay, so what else did I see here that you posted something about Nicki Minaj? And I kind of,
girl,
I was curious about Miss
Nicki Minaj, this bitch here, and I don't mean no harm.
But for this reason,
this bitch here,
for this reason, yes.
It was walking around telling everybody, she didn't go to the Met Gala this year.
Okay,
and she didn't go to the Met Gala because the Met Gala because she was unvaccinated.
Oh, okay.
And she told everybody that
because she's not popping off with anything right now. She's busy being a mother.
Well,
she didn't want to go.
She's
also got some other legal issues surrounding her at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. But she had been telling her followers that. Oh, the Pit Stop. That's the name of it. I'm sorry. It's the Pit Stop. Yeah, y'all watch it. Watch the episodes with Trixie. Watch the episodes with Bob. They're the funniest. But the Pit Stop has been on for maybe about 4 or 5 years. Yeah. They usually have a different queen hosting it. But Bob and Trixie, they're the shady. Bob and Trixie, they are the shadiest. Ooh. They don't have no problem reading these queens, but they have so much fun.
Yes,
they really enjoy
the reads.
They enjoy the other queens, and they don't mind reading. And I'm telling y'all, it's hilarious.
Did you hear what else?
But Nikki, had been telling. She has 22 million followers.
Yes, she does.
And she had been telling her followers that the reason she needed to do more research. Now, come on, y'all.
She's a dumb bitch. Don't lie.
We've been 2 years into this motherfucking We have 2 years. You are not doing no research.
Don't play us for stupid.
She said her cousin, his balls swelled up after he got the shop and he became infertile. And I'm like,
is that what she said?
That's what she said. And my first thought was, you don't have no balls. What does that have to do with you?
Oh, honey.
Honey, you don't have no balls. Unless you try to tell us something, girl, you don't have no balls. What does that have to do with you?
She was part of the trans community, but now I am.
And then she's like, well, I need to do more research. Bitch, it's 2 years.
Literally. We're almost at the end of 2021.
We're almost at the... Come on now. You telling your 22 million followers you need to do more research. Who are you? Are you writing a scientific paper on this?
That she didn't go because she has a child now. She's married, and she probably didn't want to put herself out there because when you work with the public.
Yeah, exactly.
She's out in large crowds, large numbers, and that probably scared her. She just doesn't want to admit that it scared her. Also, I want to go along with, she hasn't put shit out in a while. She has been like, Nicki Minaj has been laying low, being a mother, being a wife, and not really any new material or verses, anything that we can go, oh, Nicki's still doing it.
But Cardi B's doing the same thing, and she's putting shit out.
Literally having kids, raising these kids, still has a career. Respect to her, by the way.
But, I have never been a fan of Nicki Minaj to begin with, because she runs her mouth too much.
She does. She's funny, though. When she runs her mouth,
it's funny.
It's hilarious.
But she went off on a journalist. She just went off on Dr. Fauci. She just went off on all kinds of people. And I'm like, you are not a scientist. Shut your mouth.
That part.
If you want to be unvaccinated, that's you. And all I ask is that you...
me 2 months ago.
Exactly. And just wear a mask. At least do the decent thing and wear a mask. If you don't want to get the shot, that's up on you. But at least wear a mask. If you don't want to do any of that stuff, you're going to end up in the hospital dead. That's all I got to tell you.
And that's on period.
And that's on you. Once again, still on you.
So, real quick, did you hear the other side of the Nicki Minaj story as well? What's currently going on and has been going on for a few months?
Isn't she having some issues with her husband?
Yes. And her husband allegedly,
Make sure we use the words allegedly.
We don't say allegedly to protect ourselves, but it's court documented. Like, like there's a case out that her husband had allegedly raped this young lady, and so Nikki found out about. Like, she has to know what her husband's legal situation is, and so she was trying to kind of bribe the girl to keep it hush, sign paperwork, NDAs, to not say anything for obvious reasons. She's a worldwide celebrity. She doesn't want this hot mess to get out there. But so essentially, the people got pissed off because it's like, Nikki, why are you paying to silence a girl that your husband raped? So essentially, you're kind of supporting what he did. Yeah, you're trying to protect your career, but if you're honest and upfront about it, then we can move on. But now when you're going out of your way to pay the girl off, to shut the girl up, to not sign these paperwork so you never talk about it, that looks like you're kind of like the girl, the Ice Cube. I can hear it from here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I like sucking on an ice cube.
That's it? Just
I'm
Ice
sorry.
Cube?
I'm that girl.
You like to suck.
I'm that girl. I gotta have something in my mouth.
So a lot of people are disappointed with Nicki Minaj, where it's like, girl, you're supporting your husband. Essentially, you're not standing up for women and what your husband did. And like, I get it, that's your husband now, but like, you can't try to hide or sweep that under the rug. That's something that happened.
That's essentially when Stand By Your Man goes absolutely wrong.
Wrong.
It goes absolutely wrong. And some of these, it was the same with Beyonce. Remember Beyonce a few years back when old boy was out here?
Did you see her new commercial with Jay-Z for Tiffany and Company?
Well, she got dragged for that.
She did. That necklace.
That necklace, though, was beautiful, but she got dragged for that.
The last time a person of color wore that was... Actually, she was the first one.
She was the first one.
That's fucking insane.
But she got dragged for that, especially from the African community. And I'm not about the African American. I'm talking about from the African community. They let her have it.
Yeah.
After that,
it was what, a blood diamond,
blood diamonds, and all the stuff that and all the oppression that went with getting those diamonds and all this other stuff. Yeah, they let her have it.
Regular diamonds are going to be a thing of the past because now they're doing lab grown diamonds. They're moving on because it's a lot cheaper and a lot safer to make diamonds in the lab. They figured out the way how to do it, and now people are starting to prefer them over the regular diamonds.
Yeah, because no one wants their diamonds from slave labor,
and they've always been from that.
Yeah, exactly.
Always, in particular, from the continent of Africa.
From the continent of Africa, they don't. Yeah, so they let her have it, and she's been laying low. She has been laying low for quite. She didn't even go to the Met Gala.
As she should. Wait, who? Beyonce?
Beyonce. She did not
even invited this year. She hasn't put shit out.
No, she usually goes. She's usually invited every year.
The only thing she put out was her Disney album, and then just let out clothes after that. But not music-wise,
she's
been laying low.
She didn't have to.
At this point in her career,
I mean, her and Jay-Z, they're billionaires.
Yeah, they also came after Jay-Z for that. So in that commercial for Tiffany and Company, they took a picture he took a picture with a Basquiat painting. And in Basquiat, it was kind of like people were just kind of grilling him because apparently that was in Basquiat was anti-establishment. I think. Yeah,
he was anti-establishment.
And so JC kind of posted a picture for a white-owned company. That's something Basquiat wouldn't have agreed with and whatnot. And so how dare you? A lot of people were upset that he posted that, and it was like an unreleased painting of Basquiat's. It was a beautiful painting, by the way. Beautiful.
The sad thing is that unfortunately. As he was such a tortured artist, he passed away of AIDS many years ago.
Oh, I didn't know that. Was he gay? Or?
Yeah, he was. But he was also I think he was a heroin addict as well. So yeah, but
caught up in that heroin era in New York and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh, that sucks.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. Y'all leave that in the comments if what I said was wrong. But I think he was a drug addict at the time.
To all of our 20 followers, if somebody could say something, that would be really nice. It would give us hope and encouragement to keep doing what we do. Because if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be where we are.
Yeah, exactly.
And we wouldn't be those girls.
And I know, like I said, we didn't put out new content. But you know what? The funny thing is that if you watch I'm learning about YouTube more and more than just, I love YouTube and sometimes I watch YouTube more than I watch.
I do too. I
other
watch
stuff.
A lot because I'm very sporadic with the shit I watch. Like 1 minute I'll watch something about the ocean, the next minute I'm watching this car show. Then 5 minutes later I'm watching this couple that travel in a van across the country. Then 5 minutes later I'm watching this kid dive in the river looking for cell phones and Apple Watches and shit.
So yeah, because I think watching regular people just doing
regular shit,
and making it fun. It's entertaining,
and they become their own celebrities.
Yeah, exactly. And in a way, and I like the small time celebrity. I'm not.
Too.
Yeah, I find like
more creative.
Yeah, I know we talked about Lil Nas. I know we talked about Nicki, and I know we talked about Beyonce and stuff. But those are big time celebrities.
Like we want to be small time celebrities too,
and I think
we want our bank account to reflect that.
Yes, exactly. But I think we're getting away from looking at these people as role models and that kind of thing, because honestly, you're a billionaire.
Essentially,
you really don't have a connection with us anymore. You've lost that connection a long time ago, and it's fine. It's a natural process of you becoming the way that you've become. But we don't feel, and hopefully we don't get a lot of comments from the Beehive, because those bitches are ruthless.
Okay,
them and K-pop.
They will let you have
K-pop fandom and the Beehive.
I don't get K-pop.
They are ruthless.
That shit threw me off. And don't get me, I'm not hating on it, but it's like I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me.
You know what?
Apparently it's a big fucking deal in pop culture right now. I'm just like, how? Please explain.
I'm not a teenage girl. I'm not a Twinkie gay man.
Not anymore.
I used to be.
I am probably in the small demographic of men over the age of 40 who might have ulterior motives as to why they like K-pop.
Okay.
But that's not me. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. It's just not. It's just, I mean, these super groups coming out of Korea, the boy groups, the girl groups with 10, 12 members in the group.
Don't get me wrong. I love the diversity amongst the music industry right now, but it's just like, I don't get the K-pop movement in America. I'm all for that. It's popping off, but like, girl.
But it's huge. It is huge. It is a $1 billion business, and all I hope for is that these kids are making something, because these are machines making this. And we already went through this with the boy band era in the 90s, where a lot of these kids were out here and they were making money for the companies, but they were broke. Yeah, they didn't have any money.
The music industry is not anymore what it used to be. It's been dismantled because of the internet. Because now people like you and I can simply upload an episode. If we wanted to do music, we can upload a file onto SoundCloud. We can even get ways to upload it to the actual Apple Music, Spotify, and all that thing. We no longer need to go through the middleman, which was the record label. Now you can literally be an independent artist, and you can have your own niche following. You can have your own people. You can promote yourself, and whatever revenue you make, it's yours. And you no longer have to cut a piece of that pie to the record industry, to your record or your what's that called? Record label.
Yeah, exactly.
That part. It's changed. Like you and I can start something like this and grow it into something big, and we can keep it independent, or we can choose to sign on to somebody. I'm so ready when we sign.
Me too.
When that happens, let me know.
Please. Let it happen now.
The executives are listening.
Let it happen now, because I'm gonna be honest. I'm getting old. I need to retire comfortably.
I want to do an episode in Jamaica.
Exactly. Oh, by the way, I do want to say this. For those of you, especially for those of you who live in Houston or anywhere in Texas, I'm more than willing to do interviews with people who are doing live music. Yeah, I would love to do an episode where we have a band on and we let them play their music.
If you feel like if you're an interesting person to talk to, just hit us up.
Yeah, just hit us up.
We'll come to you if we need to. We bring up our equipment.
All we ask is that if you are not LGBTQ, you have to be an ally. You have to be an ally. Because we will be looking for that. Because I don't want to promote some band who does not like
that, or interview a homophobe, and
exactly,
awkward ass interview.
Yeah, exactly. And then we find out later they were the biggest homophobe, and then we look like idiots. That part. So you have to be an ally.
But if you're an open-minded individual who loves to have conversation about anything and everything, hit us up. Let us know. We'll gladly have a sit down with you. That's not a problem. And like I said, we low key want to set up where we can do a Facebook Live, or we can do an Instagram Live, maybe even a TikTok Live. I have a Google Voice account, which I was telling you about, and we'll set up to where people can call us.
Well, we can always do a YouTube Live as well.
That too.
I mean, we're on YouTube. We might if we're going to do anything live, we're going to do it on YouTube first.
I was low key going to set up a Twitch before before I got here. But I was running out of time, and I was going everywhere. But I wanted to set up a Twitch. Maybe I'll do that for next week. Set up a Twitch, and maybe we can get it to show on other platforms.
Yeah, exactly. So
maybe we can build up a Twitch following. Hey.
Well, you'll have to upload the videos. Well, why don't you just upload the videos that you have for Facebook and just upload them to Twitch?
True. I can be that girl.
You be that girl.
I can be
that inspiration girl.
I can be that girl.
Be that inspiration.
I can do anything.
You can do anything, girl. I'm gonna work my black girl magic. You work your black girl magic, and we call it a day.
You work your old girl magic, and I work my young girl magic.
Okay. This bitch is 35. She ain't.
And what about it?
This bitch walks in going, my neck and my back hurt.
I did. It's been like an interesting week. I've been catching myself like this week. I feel like I've been, because I was gone that week, like taking care of grandma. I call her abuelita, but for our American audiences, I am going to say grandma.
I'm sorry. Be proud of your Hispanic heritage. You can call her abuelita if you want to.
Look, puta, I'm fucking.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
No, I was when I was taking care of grandma, I did not get good sleep at all throughout that week, especially when I was in the hospital with her most of the day. Because the minute I would take a nap, the nurse popped in. Hi, I'm here to do the sugar. Hi, I'm here to do, like, every 5 minutes. It was like, so you kept being woken up and so you never could catch good sleep. Finally, when I would sleep at nighttime, I would keep waking myself up by, like, thinking somebody was walking in at some point. So by the time I've gotten home all this week, all I've been doing is catching up on sleep, catching up on rest, getting back to my grind, getting back to my rhythm, if you will. Like, it's girl. I've been drinking espressos like crazy just to get something going. By the way, did I tell you I learned how to make the Cuban espressos? We need to have some coffee here at some point. Every once in a while we can do a coffee conversation. I'll make it. I'll bring it next time. I'm going to bring it next time. No, you don't drink coffee, do you?
Oh no, I'll drink it.
Okay, I was like, why are you looking at me? Because
you got super excited about that.
Because so on TikTok, this girl made Cuban espressos, and I was like, you're that girl. And so I happened to have the equipment at home, and I was like, and I followed her recipe, made the coffee, bitch. Let me find. Now I'm an expert espresso maker at my own home.
Girl, you gonna have me bouncing out the walls, girl.
Bitch, that espresso, it gives me the energy I need. I've learned espresso.
I've heard about Cuban espresso, but I've never.
They're cute.
All I've been told is it's girl. You'll be going the entire day.
I use Bustelo espresso coffee. I put in like this pressure cooking thing for coffee. I don't know what the official name is for it. And then I cook it. I put in there. I put some sugar.
Do you use a French press? Is that what you're talking about?
No. I straight from the steam, steam cooker, if you will, like coffee steam maker, steam cooker. I don't know what the name of it is. I'll have to look it up later. I'll show you all the picture if I have it. I'll probably show you a picture of my setup. Like, here you go. But yeah, bitch, we can do some coffee one of these days, bitch. How we do the show? We'll be, hey, girl.
Well, we can't. Well, you know what? We can't do it next week because we actually have a interview with Max Xanadu next week. And she's a trans performer, trans activist, she is. Whoa. Yeah, so. To read up on her. I don't want trans artist.
You just give me a link.
She has some home items as well. Yeah. I'm gonna give you a link for that.
Okay.
But she has some home items and stuff, so she's going to be talking about that with us next week.
An interview at her house? Or?
We are going to be doing it at a friend of hers house.
Gotcha.
So I'm looking forward to that because
that's going to be good.
She said that a lot of the artwork, he has a lot of her artwork. Okay. Maybe she'll perform for us musically a little bit because she does some DJ work and
that would be cute. You can set up the microphones for her to perform.
Yeah, exactly. And so
you can bring the arm microphones.
Oh, we probably can.
Or if it's going to be a where she can sing and play guitar, she can lean into it.
So Max Xanadu is going to be our guest next week because we haven't had a guest on. Well, we've been doing the cooking guest.
Yes, we have, and low-key, I wanted to stick to that, but I also realized we have to switch it up.
I want. Like I said, I've wanted the show to be as diverse when it comes to the LGBTQ community as much as possible.
Agreed.
So, I didn't want to focus on one thing and everybody goes, oh, that's the one thing that they do. No, I want to be able to focus on what you're doing, who you are, what you got going on. We did drag for a little while. We've been doing cooking for a little while.
Sit with us or not?
Yes, exactly. we're going to figure out. Yes,
you can sit with us.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can sit at our table. It's fine.
You're welcome.
You're so cute.
Yeah.
Just so cute.
So I'm kind of curious to get your opinion on something, and I kind of mentioned it to you earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a cousin who's in a relationship with a narcissist, and I think this is an important topic to talk about because most people sometimes don't realize they're in a relationship with a narcissist.
I was in a relationship with a narcissist for about 8 years.
Oh Lord!
On and off. And I use the term relationship very loosely because we were friends. We were friends, and then we tried to be lovers, and then we were friends, and then we tried to be lovers, and then
it just didn't work out.
He was terrible in bed, sweetie. He was terrible in bed.
Ooh.
Half the time he couldn't get it up.
You endured that for 8 years,
and we were on and off. So we started off as friends.
Yeah.
Well, actually, we started off as he was sexy as fuck, and I wanted to sleep with him, and he was going to be my first one.
Yeah.
Because I just come out of the closet, and here I was talking to this super hot guy. And I should have realized something was wrong when he rolled up, after we were done, which took about 2 minutes. Ooh. After we were done, he rolled over and said, I like you, but I just really wanted to see what it was like with a black guy.
Wow.
By the way, let me give a context here. This is 1994. So it didn't happen yesterday.
Oh.
Okay, this is 1994. So yeah,
you haven't had any since 1994. So
yeah, and I was 24. I was coming out of the closet. Damn. I did not have a lot of self-esteem. So
that's fucking rude.
Yeah,
that's fucking mean.
That was the meanest thing he had ever to me, and that should have been the end of it. Mm-hmm. But I stuck around.
She liked getting put down.
He had a way.
He had daddy issues.
He had a way of manipulating me,
of course,
and everyone around him. To the point that I have seen people drop everything just to be with him.
Yeah.
Or to be anywhere near him.
Oh my.
I've had people push me out the way. We would be at a bar. I've had queens walk up to me.
Move
me out the way just to talk to him. And when he would go, oh, I'm talking to my friend, they would turn around and go,
oh, that.
Okay, whatever. And I'm like,
oh. Girl.
Yeah, but he was a complete narcissist
So my cousin's in this point in his relationship where he is kind of questioning it. He's coming to realizing that he's dating somebody that he's putting all this energy to, and he's putting a lot of energy into the person, doing everything they want the way they want it, but it's never good enough. She always raises the bar, and then he's also getting to a point where he's not emotionally happy in that relationship anymore. And she doesn't validate him enough, and she doesn't do certain things that So he started telling me more about some of the things she does, and I realized it finally hit me. I was like, "Bro, you're dating a narcissist. You're in a relationship with a narcissist." And let me explain to you. So I went down the list of what, and Google. If you're not familiar with it, it's a real fucking thing where a lot of times narcissists eventually mold you to be their pet per se. They're just their whatever accessory in life. They don't love you. They just need you there to validate them at all times. And the relationships are different for everybody, but for the most part, some of the same things tend to surface in most of these narcissistic relationships. So I went down the list and I told him some of my experiences dating a narcissist, and he was just like, "Oh my god!" Like, so lately, I've been catching him in the very beginning of realizing that he's dating a narcissist, and now he knows what he has to do, but he thinks there's still a chance because I'm like, mind you, she's had 4 years on him, so she's had time to brainwash him, dominate him, tell him what to do. He's to a point where he can't think without her, and she's pretty much runs the whole relationship.
Yeah, she runs his life.
And I told him, at the end of the day, when you're in a relationship with a narcissist, you will never win. You will never win. The narcissist will always one-up you.
And they don't, a lot of people don't understand this. They don't really have to do a lot of work. They know how to manipulate you.
Yes.
Because they've gotten to know you. Once they get to know you and they know which button to push.
Every single one of them.
They will literally get you to do whatever they want you to do.
Yes.
You will give up your friends. You will give up your family.
That's another thing.
You will.
Yeah.
You will.
She started slowly isolating him. I said, that's a trait that we'll do.
That's a trait.
They start isolating him from all your circles. Now then to a point you become depending on just them for your happiness or their happiness because they never care about you. So he asked me like, well, how does that happen? Why does she like that? I was like, honestly, a narcissist doesn't even love themselves, let alone have room to love you. because they have their own insecurities and then pretty much projecting them onto you. And so he started telling me some other things. I was like, yeah, you're definitely dating a full. So then he kind of didn't believe me. I said, look, you don't have to take my word for it, but it sounds like everything I'm telling you, you're relating to it. Start Googling, look up this, and that. And he's like, okay, get on YouTube and listen to some professional therapists talk about this particular. And he's like, okay. So I call him like the next day. I gave him like a whole rest of the day to think about it. I was like, think about it, because this is your first time kind of realizing what this is and actually finally having a definition for it. And I said, okay. So he did. He looked it up. He kind of had time to think and reflect. So when I called him today, he's like, I mean, you can just hear it in his voice, like, man, holy fuck, like he's awakening to what's going on. I'm dating a narcissist. I realize I'm in a relationship with that, so I read this thing. I saw this blog. I said that, and then like everything hit, everything applied, and I was like, yeah, man, like you know what you have to do. He still thinks that they could go to therapy, fix it. I was like, you could. I'd highly encourage you to go to a professional.
It's not going to work.
That's what I told him. I was like, I encourage it so you can see it for yourself, but at the end of the day, that's not going to work.
A good therapist will tell you,
get out.
Get out.
Get the fuck out.
You've already been to. If you are, here's the thing now, and the reason why I said it, he needs to get out.
Yes,
I've been down this road.
Yes,
and when I thought I was out, he always figured out a way to bring me back in. And I would try to cut him off. Yeah. And there were times where years would go by and I would never hear from him. And then suddenly he'd just pop up. He'd randomly appear. And I started following the same patterns with him.
You got digmatized.
I got manipulated. We're not going to say dickmatized, because dickmatized is a completely different thing.
It sure is.
That's a completely different thing. That's when the dick is good.
Okay.
The dick on him was not good. It was really more about him. I watched him go through several relationships. I watched him financially break every person he was ever in a relationship with.
God damn.
He got to travel the world. Yeah. He got to do all this stuff on somebody else's dime. He knew how to manipulate people.
Of course, they all knew.
He died a couple of years back.
Oh,
and
rest in peace.
I could say something else, but I'm not going to, because I was told by a couple of my friends that that's not nice to say. But you know what? Here's the thing that I've learned.
I'm going to say, follow your heart. If you feel like you got to say it, say it. If you don't, then don't.
May he burn in hell. How about that?
Boom. And that's the nicest way.
That's the nicest way.
If you don't like it, you can unsubscribe. Please don't. Unfollow. Please don't.
But the fact of the matter is that I learned, and I talked to someone professionally about that, and they're like, you do not actually have to forgive someone even when they're dying.
I disagree with that.
You do not, especially if it's someone who has really.
No, and I'm saying it like a non. Honest, like
when I say forgiveness,
yeah.
When I say forgiveness, I mean in a way of the fact that I think what I'm saying is forgetting. You can forgive someone.
Yes, but you cannot forget.
But
like, remember that show back in?
You can forgive, but they have to be completely out of your life.
Do you remember that show, Forgive and Forget?
No.
Forgive or Forget. There was a show that went on for the longest time, like right around the Sally Jesse Raphael days, around the what's the other girl? I can't remember Ricky Lake. Right around those times, there was a show called Forgive or Forget, and I think Monique hosted that show. I think, or she looked like Monique at the time. Big girl Monique.
It might have been Monique.
I think so, but it was a good fucking show too. It was Forgive or Forget. So that's why, like, when you said you're a therapist, they said, okay, she said don't forget, but you can't. I feel like I disagree. I feel like you can forgive somebody even if they fucked you over hardcore.
There is a level, but you honestly you don't have to.
But you have to build up to that point to where you can forgive them on yourself. You have to work on yourself.
But the thing is that when I say that you don't have to forgive, if you have the backup and the necessary things to fix yourself, if you're trying to fix that trauma, and everything else,
that's
and
part of the journey, though.
Yeah, and part of the journey is whether or not. But you don't have to necessarily.
You can forgive somebody and not necessarily fuck with them anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
But by forgiving, it does not mean that you're going to go right back to like being cool with them. No.
I think that's what people really don't understand when it comes to forgiveness. They think that you have to go right.
This is the way I understand forgiveness. So let's say you have an issue with a person, and it was something that was traumatized you, whatever. Let's say it was a narcissist. You got a relationship with them. When along your journey of self-love, self-healing, self-therapy, however you go about it, you do get to a point where you forgive that person. And by forgiving a person, as cliche as it sounds, it does not mean that you are defeated, that they won. It simply means that you forgive them for the actions that they did onto you and how they affected you, because you are ready to move on with your life.
Yeah, exactly.
You're ready to carry on, and you're not trying to hold back any baggage anymore. So by forgiving, meaning you're willing to let go and forgive them and release them of that karma, if you will. And that you're ready to move on with your life. It does not, by forgiving, does not mean that you're going to be besties with them again. Because I've forgiven many people, but I moved on. I never talked to them again.
Yeah, exactly.
Or I've forgiven some people and say, look, if you fuck up again, this is the last time. And I've done that once or twice where I'm like, don't. Because I'm one of those people that once I cut you out, once I'm done with you, I'm done with you.
Yeah,
I will
exactly.
emotionally disconnect. I will block you on everything that needs to be blocked. And I move on.
I mean, at this point in my life, I don't really have time for you.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm moving out and doing other stuff. I think. So
that's what I was telling you earlier. Like that's why I couldn't disagree to that. I was like, I think.
No.
Part of the journey.
I think what I was basically trying to say is like with the situation we were talking about. If someone apologizes for something that they've knowingly did wrong,
you still have the option,
and you accept that apology.
You can accept an apology.
You can accept an apology.
You don't have to fuck with that person anymore.
Yeah. You can accept an apology, and then it's up to you whether or not you want to fuck with that person.
Yeah,
and that's really
it's kind of like.
But I think with forgiveness, I think what I'm saying is with me is once I forgive you, we're done. Because
when you forgive them, you also realize that that's who they are. They're not going to change. They're not going to be a new person. They're not going to treat you any different. Because when you do forgive them and get back to being friends with them, they fall right back into old habits, and they start treating you the way they treated you before you forgave them.
But see, this is what I'm saying. When I forgive someone, I will say, I forgive you, but we're done.
Yeah.
But I forgive you.
Correct.
But I don't want to fuck with you anymore. So for me, when I forgive someone, I'm done with you.
Yeah.
But I want you to know that I don't have any ill will.
Yeah.
I don't harbor any ill will, but you and I can't be together anymore. If I accept your apology, then I still see something in you that makes me want to stick around.
I think an apology is also like forgiveness. Like, and this time when they apologize to you, it goes the same way. You can accept that apology and be like, okay, we can be friends again. I accept your apology. We all fuck up. Or you can say, yeah, thank you for apologizing, but I want nothing to do with you.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
still have that power. Most people don't realize
that. But I think for me personally, that's how I see it. I think forgiveness for me is if I forgive you, we're done.
Yeah.
If I accept your apology, then I still see something in you that makes me want to stick around, and I will stick around. And if I know it's heartfelt and honest, either way, whether it's heartfelt or honest on either side, I think it allows me more of a decision to make here. If I forgive you, I've already made the decision that we are not going to be together anymore.
Yeah,
we're done, and I don't want nothing to do with you. I don't wish you any ill will.
Yeah,
and you can say whatever you want to say to me at that moment. But we're done.
Yeah.
But if I accept your apology, it's because I still see something in you and I still feel that love for you. Right. That I'm like, you know what? You messed up.
Yeah.
Everybody messes up. And it's fine. It's not a big deal to me. So that's how I know everybody does their own thing.
Right.
But I think personally, and that has helped me because like I said, for me having to get over some of toxic relationships don't start the moment that you get in a relationship. It's the way that you were raised.
Yeah, and a little background on my cousin. He's 22 years old. So he doesn't have too much experience in relationships, dating life, even being single for too long. He's always been in a relationship. And so he doesn't have that experience. So I told him, look, you're getting to a point now where you're 22. You're becoming your own man. You are going to start learning new things. I'm 35, so I already experienced some of this, and I'm giving you just the knowledge that I have, that I know, and that's why I told him when it comes. And he's at a point now where I called him back on day 2, and I said, hey, like, how do you feel after all the information I gave you? What do you think? And he's just like, a lot of it resonated. And I could not believe it. I looked up the videos. I watched this and that. And honestly, and I was like, you're finally becoming awakened to what's going on, girl? What are we, is something going to drop on you?
No.
Oh, you looked up. I was like, what?
No, I realized I was doing it again with the ice. So I was swallowing it because I'm like, I don't want to root it around in my mouth.
When she swallows, she looks up.
She does.
She wants to make sure she doesn't lose a drop.
And I just want to see your eyes roll in the back of the head.
Period.
Period.
And that's what I do.
But I think what it comes down to, and this is actually my advice to you, actually, is the fact that no matter what you tell him, he has to make the move.
He has.
If he continues in this relationship,
that's what I told him. If
he continues in this relationship, then you've said everything you needed to say, and he made the choice to continue.
What's going to happen is, let's say you'll date for another year, or another 6 years, maybe 10 years from now. You're going to get to a point where if you continue in the trajectory that you're going, you're going to get to a point where you're so fucking drained that you're no longer going to want to be with that person. And by the time you realize you don't want to be with that person anymore, you're going to look back and you're going to be really upset with yourself that you got taken advantage of in that way, that you lost time that you could have, that you're never going to get back. You probably missed out on a lot of your youth. You're gonna be resentful.
Yeah, but I think what I'm saying to you
me, but that's what I told him.
Yeah, but I think what I'm saying to you is that you've now given him all the information that he needs.
And I feel like I did my part.
You did your part. And if he chooses to stay in this relationship even after all the information,
I told him that.
You're done.
I told him I respect whatever decision you make. If you
done.
Stay or if you go.
If he decides to stay,
you know your outcomes at this point. So if you choose to stay, that's on you. I can't help you.
Yeah, exactly. You're done.
I did my part.
Your work is done, and I think when it comes to when you're trying to help someone or rescue someone in a certain way, I think that we sometimes get to the point where we spend so much time trying to rescue them. Yeah. That we realize, wait, they don't want to be rescued.
No, in this case, I feel like I'm just passing on the information. I don't feel like I'm trying to save him or rescue him because he's not in grave danger. I just see what's going on in his life, and I say, this is what you're going through. This is the
he's in grave danger of losing his youth.
Yeah, I'm like, this is the advice I'm going to give you. These are the tools I'm going to give you to realize what you're doing. And no, each time I talk to him, he's just like, he sounds more awake about this. He's like, holy fuck! And I said, look, at this point, you're going to start looking at her different. Every time you're around her, you're going to start if anything, you're going to be more observational. You're like, wow, you're just going to start seeing the behavior because now you can identify. Now that you've been aware of what the behavior is and how they act towards you. Yeah, he told me some of the stuff and I was just like, holy shit.
And at 22?
At 22.
Oh my god!
And his biggest thing where he's at right now, he's so isolated from friends. Like he lost all his friends. The only thing he got is his mom and dad, barely. And then he doesn't have anybody to talk to. So when I went to town, we were dealing with my grandma's situation. I was one of the few people that was like, you know what? Let's go out for drinks. Let's go now that grandma's good and she's stable. Let's go out for drinks. Let's have fun. Let's just unwind. Let's talk about stuff. And that's where he opened.
Where was she in this?
She happened to be hanging out with her mom at the state fair. So they were so they were doing that, and then we sat down and talking. He just kind of opened up a little, and I was just listening, and then finally,
because it's kind of surprising that she would actually allow him, to even remotely hang out with you for like a one-on-one kind of thing, because
I said
she has isolated him from so much.
I told him the same thing too, and he's like, honestly, when we were hanging out, that was all that was on my mind. What was she thinking? Is she gonna? Do I have to fight with her about this? Do I? But he's like, at the same time, I was having fun with you. Like, we were hanging out, and it felt good being out again. It felt good being young. And I was like, you should enjoy your youth.
But 22, my goodness.
It's a baby. That's why I'm worried about him. And so I'm being proactive in this particular case because he's a family member and he's so young. And I don't want to see him go down that path. I'm being proactive. But I'm also aware that if he doesn't want to help himself, I'm leading this horse to the water. Yeah. And if this horse doesn't want to drink, I'm not going to force the horse. I'm looking at you, bitch. I'm not going to force the horse to drink, mamas. I can't do that for you. I told him, too, because the way I explained to him, I was like, look, what you eat doesn't make me shit, is what I told him. So if you continue in this relationship, that's on you, player. That's not on me. And I did my part. I'm satisfied with what I did.
And my cousin was around to tell me. My cousin did the same thing with me that you did with your cousin. Yeah. And basically put, I stayed. And my cousin's like, well, that's the decision you made. I still love you, but that's the decision you make. So you have to deal with the shit that goes with it. Yep. And so when I would complain or anything else,
he goes, "I care about it.
Girl,
listen to it."
You didn't listen to me anyway. I don't understand.
Listen to now.
Why would I listen to it now?
And he could give you all the advice in the world. You're still not going to listen.
So it took a long time for me to break away from it. And like I said, I would go years at a time. Yeah. And he would pop back in, and then I'd fall for it but it would get shorter and shorter with each time.
And then my question was, why?
Because he knew which buttons to push. That's the ultimate narcissist.
Knew he was pushing your buttons. Why?
Because
continue to let him do it.
Because I always.
At some point, there's some there's some red alarms that go off in your head.
Oh yeah,
like he's doing it, girl. Stop.
Because
stop.
I I always see potential in people.
Even when
I'm
they
like
fuck you over.
I'm like Batman with Joker. I'm like the Batman with the Joker.
How they never got along?
No. A lot of the. Okay, that's another conversation.
Okay,
I'll explain that to you in another conversation.
Please.
But the fact of the matter is that
that reference flew over my head.
Well, basically, put if I'm going to break it down, I guess I needed a nemesis.
Yeah,
and I refused to give up on my nemesis.
When you say why now, like the why, I asked even my cousin. I said, "What do you want to do?" Mm-hmm. And he literally stayed silent for like a good 30 seconds. And I was like, I'm waiting for a response. He's like, I don't know what to say.
See, that's why I'm telling you. If you were to confront your cousin again and he chooses...
No, I'm not looking at it from a confrontational point.
No. I don't mean that in the confrontational point. Just listen to what I'm saying. If you confront your cousin after he has completely broken up with this person, then you need to make sure... And I'm giving you advice as one who's lived through it.
Yeah.
To make sure you constantly tell them she cannot even call you.
Correct.
She can't text you.
Nothing.
She can't come around. If she needs to come get her stuff,
and that's I did tell him that.
Call somebody and to have them wait at the house so she can get her stuff
from them.
And from them, not you. You cannot be, because she will figure a way to manipulate you. And like I said, I'm giving you this advice because I already went through it. He always figured out a way to manipulate me to bring him back.
But that's where because someone like me, okay, I kind of grew up with a manipulative parent.
Oh, my dad was the worst.
I was a smart kid that was able to figure out when they were using that power against me. So when they would use that power against me, I learned to defend myself from that power and say, no, stop, you can't do that. And they would finally, low key, I had a narcissistic mother. Low key, high key, actually.
Dad right here.
And you know what? What we're not gonna do. And so, anyways, I grew up with a narcissistic mother, and she had her manipulative ways. And I learned, and I was smart enough that how to use my own logic because I wasn't an emotional person. I was more of a logical thinker. So when she tried her bullshit against me, I saw right through it, and I would call her out on it, and that pisses a narcissist off when you call them out on their ways, on their moves, and you're doing this because of this reason. Fuck you, you're an asshole. All of a sudden, you're the asshole. They turn it around. They turn
it back on you.
And then, she's done it.
It's all about you. Yeah. It's never about them. Exactly. It's about you. But like I said, I think getting past all, you have to remember something too. I literally just told you I had no self-esteem because I was raised to not have self-esteem. So by the time a narcissist came along, hold on,
I'm listening, but I'm asking like a question that goes along with what you're saying.
Okay, but when a narcissist came along, it was hard for me to let go of that narcissist because I did not believe in myself.
Sidebar: why didn't you equip yourself with those tools?
Because I didn't have the tools to equip myself with. Why
didn't you look for them?
Because I did not have
to protect yourself, to emotionally educate yourself, to realize, this is not acceptable behavior. This is not correct. And then raise your self-value and your self-worth.
Because this conversation would not have been had in 1994.
Why?
Because we didn't talk about this stuff.
I was a kid in 1994. You have to walk.
I wasn't a full adult, and we did not talk about this stuff.
In 86, so I think in 94 I was like 8 years old.
You were 8 years old. I was a full-grown adult. We did not talk about this stuff in 1994. In 2020, there are videos, there's resources, there's everything for you. In 1994, there were no resources. I didn't even know. I didn't even know what to call it.
Okay, but Joel, like the mental health issue situation has been around. The self-help situation has been around for years.
Nope.
Did you not have the ways to find it? Did you not find the resources? What was it? Because the tools were there.
Because I was raised that if you had any issue, you didn't go see a psychiatrist. Psychiatrists are for white people.
Is it okay to say that you think it was a cultural thing?
It was a cultural thing. Psychiatry is for white people.
So you were raised with that notion.
Yeah, I was raised with that notion. If you have an issue or a problem, you kept it silent and you kept it to yourself.
Did you ever have any curiosity outside of that notion? Say, okay, I'm black. Okay, therapy is for white people. I can go to a library and maybe look at a book. I can maybe ask my friends if they go through the same thing. Talk to my school counselor.
Nope.
Some kind of tool. Some kind of effort.
Nope.
Jesus.
Nope.
No wonder.
Nope.
Okay, so now that
it would be years later. It would be in the early 2000s, honestly.
Yeah.
When I started to look
into it and
look into it and to start thinking But in the 90s, when this was going on, no.
So that explains to me why. Now I understand the why. Because the reason I say why is because it just, in my mind, it just doesn't sound logical. And I was like, I know you had the resources, but why didn't you use them? And now they explain to me. That makes sense. So you didn't have a way to inform
And by the way, there weren't other black people talking about. Black people are now talking about mental health issues like never before.
Yeah.
And
there are a lot of black issues that are coming out.
There are a lot of black people talking,
that are being discussed.
That are being discussed.
That were taboo.
And in the 90s, nope, we didn't talk about it. And if you try to talk about anything like that with your friend, they would just look at you and go, girl, go talk to a minister or something.
Yeah.
And I wasn't.
Usually the minister was the therapy for a lot of people.
Yeah, let God do it. And I'm like, God, let God do it. Do you know how many times I've asked God to do something about it and nothing has happened?
Right.
So don't tell me let God do it.
The way for example, now in my way that I've learned to resolve, because I'm a big firm believer in self-healing, self-therapy, trying to work your way through whatever situation, whatever mental stress, whatever emotional stress you're going to, find a ways to justify it and give it reason, give it basically self-therapy per se, if you will. I'm a firm believer in that, either whether it's writing, exercising, whether it's, I've always used whatever I'm going through, the way I project it is through doing an activity, finding ways to channel that energy. That's what I'm trying to say. And when I've learned that in all the years, I always knew that there was something wrong, that something wasn't right, and this is not, like, something in me said this is not right. Why is it? So I've always had that natural inclination to, let me find a book, let me find somebody to talk to that I think knows about this subject, and they can lead me. And then you discover the YouTube, and you start discovering social media, and you start seeing this information out there.
But at the same time, and this is the beautiful thing, at the same time, I'm Gen X, so seeing other Gen Xers literally have the same conversation, that made me feel so much better, because I'm like, wait a minute, so I wasn't the only one going through this, and they talked about all the trauma, and they talked about all the stuff that we could not talk about when we were growing up amongst ourselves.
Compare notes.
And I think one of the funniest ones I ever saw, she literally said, you know why we don't care, why Gen X doesn't care about millennials and Gen Zers? Because we trying to figure out our own shit.
To be honest,
we don't have time to worry about your shit. We trying to figure out, we trying to heal ourselves from all the fuck up shit our parents put us through. And that was boomers, by the way. All the fucked up shit our parents put us through. So right now at our age, we're trying to heal ourselves.
Now, also, for example, when it comes to like my mom, like a narcissistic parent, and even if I try to confront her about it, which I've thought about it, like, I could easily try to have this conversation without her, but I already know she's a narcissist. She's going to turn it around on me, and it's not going to go anywhere. And if anything, we're going to be pissed off at each other, blah blah blah. But I also so I've even went further into my own like journey of like trying to my whys. But why did she act like that towards me? What was her? And I figured out, and that's a conversation I had with I think it was my brother or one of my cousins. I said, look, our family, like, that's something that is like our family, like, for example, my mom, your mom, they didn't have their parent wasn't there for them, just like they're not there for us. So I think they learned that it was a learned behavior. Plus, their parents were not equipped with those tools either. They were even before our time. Probably my grandma's a little bit older than you, so that was before her time. So she definitely didn't talk about those issues. She definitely.
Well, my father grew up with a father who basically he had a mistress and a mistress and a mistress and a family somewhere else.
Damn.
And that's what my father grew up with. And then my father grew up repeated the cycle again. The beautiful thing is between me and my two brothers, we actually broke that cycle.
Yeah.
I don't know how we survived, but we actually broke that cycle. I think for me, being gay, I think was my saving grace, because honestly, I think if I were a heterosexual male, I would have probably continued
with my family too.
I probably would have continued the cycle.
It took me a good 5 years before I came around, and they thought I stopped coming around because I came out the closet, and I was like, no, I stopped coming around y'all because y'all were toxic as fuck to be around.
Exactly.
I couldn't stand any of y'all.
Exactly.
And I had that conversation with my younger, because it's like, honestly, when it comes to the old heads in our family, like, I can't stand them. They're toxic amongst themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's a functional toxicity between them.
Yeah.
It's weird. I watch them interact, and it's like the more shadier, pettier they're with each other, the more they're trying to one-up. It's like a pecking order amongst them. But for them, that's what they know, and it works for them. But the younger generation, I kind of look at them, we kind of look, the outsider look like judgy, kind of. Like, why are they like this? And I've had this conversation with some of my younger cousins, and it's like, look, and I've had to be the older cousin who explains it to them. Like, look, they're different. They were raised in a different country than we were. They had different circumstances before they even came to America. You have to understand that you guys are first generation in this country, so you don't see things the way they see things. So sometimes to you, they're a little weird about the way they do shit, but that's how they relate or translate to it.
But I think, especially because my father is also a narcissist himself. He was born and bred to be one, by the way.
Oh, Jesus.
He was born and bred to be one by his father. So I have a little bit more understanding when it comes to that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I realized something, and like I said, therapy helped with that. I realized something. I stopped arguing with my father. I stopped putting up with he would say...
When you actually
he would say terrible. Yeah. He would say terrible things to me, and we would be having an okay conversation, and then out of the blue, he'll just say something stupid.
Of course.
And I will get super mad, and I will curse him out and let him have it, and then I would walk out, and I wouldn't see him again for a long time. And then I realized after the last time, I'm like, you know what? I'm tired of doing this.
Too is when you stand up to a narcissist, they learn that they no longer have that power over you.
It's harder when it's family. It's easier when it's someone outside of... I'm sorry, the microphone keeps moving around. The fact of the matter is that with my father, I realized, one, he's family, and I can't get rid of him. Two...
Yeah, but I've also... Okay, I'm gonna interject real quick, because you said he's family, and sometimes you also have to know the difference. Even if they're family, and they're not good for your mental health, you don't need them around. And that could be your closest relative. Yeah. Could be your mother, father, brother, sister, cousin, first cousin. If those family members are not good for you mental health wise, you can cut them off. It's okay to cut them off. And a lot of the guilt that society puts on you is, well, that's your mother, that's your father, that's your aunt. You don't do that. But if it's the same people that are causing you harm, yes, you can. Yes,
and the beautiful thing is that I can't believe I'm about to say this, y'all.
Uh-oh. But another one of those moments where you shouldn't be saying something, but you're going to say it anyways?
Thanks to TikTok, I've actually now and by the way, seeing black people deal with mental issues now and being open about it has been the biggest relief of my life.
Yes.
Because someone on a TikTok said, you know what, we need to stop feeling guilty for cutting people off in our own family that we don't want to be around.
Yes.
Because...
I did that. You know how draining it was to be around my family this whole week?
Because if someone said the exact same words and to see it come out of a person of color, to see it come out of and you know, you're Hispanic, I'm black, mental health is not, it's always been kept on the down low.
And my family is very like that. They don't like to address it. They'll talk shit about it, and then they'll forgive each other 3 months later. That's one thing I told my cousin too. Because he caught him, my younger cousin, that's my accent kicking through. My cousin, he noticed one time. That's like, she's the
Aren't you from Kansas?
Originally, no. I'm from Venezuela.
Oh, you're from Venezuela.
Actually, we moved to Kansas when I was 8 years old.
Oh, okay.
8 years old.
So did you not pick up any of the Midwestern inflections?
Yeah, y'all, like the basic ones. And then I'm glad I was raised in Kansas, because it's going to sound shady as fuck, but like the way that I learned to speak English in Kansas is different than what my friends in Texas grew up speaking. It's a whole, and then I stand out sometimes. They're like, where are you from? You don't speak the same, or some little things stick out about me. It's like, no, I was raised in Kansas. I was raised primarily around the suburbia type neighborhoods and whatnot. What happened, girl? You saw a ghost over there.
Who you talking about, girl? I'm listening to you.
Give a dead stare to the door.
No.
What's wrong? Okay?
No. I'm listening to you.
I was like, what? Oh, but yeah, now I lost my train of thought. But yeah, I grew up in suburbia, so I speak a little different. And so back to the family conversation. That's one of the things. So I noticed my cousin was like brought up a conversation. Like, man, I'm noticing that this family member is far arguing with my mom, and that it pisses me off. And then I said, pump the brakes, kiddo. I was like, honestly, the way their dynamic works. First of all, don't get invested in that argument. When it comes to family and they're arguing amongst themselves, try not to get involved. Because when you start picking sides, and then you're going to look like an idiot when 3 months later they made up and they're kissing and they're hugging and say, sorry, I was a bitch to you 3 months ago and I apologize. In my family, that happens a lot. It's a common thing where like they will go up against each other, hate each other, talk shit about each other to all the family members, and then like 3 months later they come up and they're like, hee 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 ha, at a barbecue, family barbecue or some kind of function, and hey, I missed you. I'm sorry for the way I was being a hardcore bitch. Hey, my bad, I was being a really big asshole to you. Oh, it's okay, but we're over it now. And so then you could get caught up. You're young. You picked a side. And you're defending your mom, and you realize now you see them being BFFs, and now you feel like an idiot because you picked a side or you got emotionally involved. I was like, honestly, don't get involved. Stay out of it.
You know what I do?
It's not worth it.
You know what I do from now on? When there's ever any conflict and people look at me and ask for my opinion, I just do this.
Bloop bloop bloop. Period. And
drink my cocktail and go. And that's between y'all. I don't care.
My families learn. Like I keep them at a distance now. They don't get to, like, when you learn to stand up to these people. When you learn to stand up and defend yourself or put yourself first before them, that's a big shift in the family. Sometimes you're going to be the black sheep because of that, and that's okay.
You know what? We're running out of time.
Oh, that was.
You want to make this another conversation the next time when it's just a you and I
this
show?
This has been a good conversation.
Yeah, next time it's been a you and I show because we do have guests next week. So next
really
time,
caught up in this family.
Yeah, you get really caught up in talking about this stuff because
girl, I just came fresh back from dealing with them. So like literally, I spent a whole week with them, and as much as I love being around them, it was kind of draining at the same time. So I'm not trying to make it sound like it was a bad experience hanging out with them. It was refreshing to be around the family dynamic again. But because I started, now that I saw it from a distant slate, or more distance, and I saw, I observed them, I saw the behaviors and the patterns come back, and it was just exhausting being like on the guard because I'm not gonna let this affect me. I'm not gonna let this affect me. Like I put a lot of energy into making sure that I didn't get involved in any of their bullshit, and I got away scotch free. So that's why I think part of me, when I came back to Houston, I came back feeling just drained, like mentally, physically, and emotionally.
And I had to tell you, the last time I was at a family event, which it might have been a few years ago. It was Thanksgiving, and I went to my brother's house, and everybody had cooked, and they had all this stuff going on, and me and Marcus, my cousin, show up, and we're sitting there, and my brother says, you know what? I made all this food, did all this other stuff, and blah, 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 blah. But as Alan walks in the door, and y'all act like y'all lose y'all shit, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I looked at my cousin, I said, we're not going to stay that long. No. I'm not fixing to deal. I'm done. Yeah. I'm tired of dealing with this.
And you pick and choose your battles. That's
exactly.
When you realize that's what they do, that's what
I'm like, there's food. I'm not giving up on food. I'm going to eat.
I'm going to eat your shit in your face, and then I'm going to walk out.
And I'm going to listen to the funny stories, and I'm going to do all of that. And then when I look at Marcus, I'm like, it's time to go, Bruce. I need a cocktail. I need a cocktail because I'm done. And Marcus, is your brother going to be there? He's so hot. I'm like, you need,
Don't talk about my brother like
First of all, don't talk about my brother. Exactly. Don't talk about my brother like that. And secondly, if you got to know my brother, you would change your mind in a heartbeat.
You will regret
good Lord. You will regret your decision. His dick better be good. That's all I got to say, because you will regret your decision after that. But I think we're done.
Yeah. I'm satisfied. I'm happy with what we did today.
But I think we got really...
we had a good conversation about family, narcissism, the signs, the traits. I mean, I didn't want to get too much into details of what I told my cousin. I have respect for him, but I knew I wanted to mention it because there are people out there that don't realize they're dating one, and when they start looking into it, like, holy fuck.
But I want to put this out here, especially for the people not only on the podcast but as for YouTube.
Yeah,
we're not medical experts
at all whatsoever.
We are just talking about our own experiences. Make sure that if you have any issues, make sure you talk to someone professional.
Yes, agreed.
Find a professional to whether it's couples counseling, whether it's for your own counseling. Search and find
a mental health professional.
Find a
properly diagnose anything and everything that you think.
Yeah, exactly. Remember, we're just having a conversation about our own personal experiences.
That's it.
And the fact I loved having this conversation because
our experience could possibly help others, but we're not diagnosing anyone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and as a Gen Xer and as a millennial. Seeing how our experiences are different but yet the same, I think is what's really a good thing. And as two gay men really having this conversation, I think is really important because We run into it a lot in this community.
Okay, we do. We really do.
We really
and
do.
Mental health is really important in our, especially in the community, because a lot of times it's a very a lonely lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very isolated. It depends on how you look at it. But
Yeah, it depends on how you look at it. Being gay
depression is a big thing in our community. Suicide is a big thing. So please, if you feel like any of these things, seek out mental health professionals. Please seek help. Talk to somebody.
And there are LGBTQ programs that can help you, especially if you're dealing with coming out issues and all this other stuff.
Anything and everything.
Anything and everything.
And we'll try to set up the phone situation to where we can take live calls. And if y'all want to talk to us, remember, we're not professionals, but we can give you advice, what we think and an opinion. Our advice is not the final advice.
Yeah, it's not the final advice. So make sure that you get the help that you need.
Kind of get that disclosure, because it's true. We're not certified in any way, shape, or form.
We're not.
Our opinions.
I mean, we're bartenders.
We're therapists.
I mean, we're therapists that feed you cocktails.
I'm a good bartender therapist. Bitch.
Me
People
too.
come at me with like problems and shit.
I swear to God, I will literally ask you what you want to drink.
Show you need to watch. Have you seen Sex Education on Netflix?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh my fucking God. Okay, I'm gonna tell you after this. In an FYI, I'm gonna show a little screenshot of the show. That show is fucking hilarious, which has to do with sexual education.
Yeah, we'll talk about it on the next episode. Not the episode with Max, but the next episode after that. Yeah, because everything is going to be about Max.
Yes, it will.
But yeah, on the following week we'll get more into it.
Done.
And we're done.
So thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, follow,
subscribe. Hit that notification bell at the bottom for YouTube.
Make sure you eat booty.
And for those of you listening to the podcast on whatever, make sure all the podcast networks. We're on all the streaming podcast networks. So you shouldn't have. I get people go, where can I find you?
And we get in there.
And I just give them that look.
Right.
Do you know what a podcast is? I know what it is. Then you should be able to find us.
Period. Like, podcasts are starting to become more and more popular, so it's not that hard. People know what podcasts are.
Yeah, people know what podcasts are now.
At least hopefully our listeners do.
A couple of people I talked to didn't know what a podcast was, but they were older.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Not older as in my generation, but I mean older.
Boomers.
So yeah. So
girl.
All right, girl.
Well, we love you guys.
We love you guys. Take care. Be careful. Be safe. And love yourself. Make sure it's all about loving yourself, bitches. Bye.